Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are doing our off-road review for the Santa Cruz. Now typically with these off-road reviews I do two separate parts, but let's be real here, this is not an off-road rig. Yes, we are taking it off-road. Yes, it can do some off-road stuff. It has 8.6 inches of ground clearance. It has all-wheel drive, but I mean, come on. We've got 20-inch wheels on this thing, and you guys can see these tires are more for snow/street use rather than rock crawling and all that. So I'm going to take this on some trails that I think that you would take this on if you were going to buy a Santa Cruz. So I'm guessing if one of you were to buy a Santa Cruz, you'd probably be taking this out to go on camping trips and all that stuff. So you're not going to be doing Moab rock crawling. You're going to be, you know, going on some trails like this with some bumps and all that. So we will be using the ground clearance to an extent. We will be flexing with the truck and all that kind of stuff. But again, nothing too crazy. And with all that being said, let's just hop right into the review. So as we set off here, you guys are probably wondering what drive mode I have it in and all that kind of stuff. So I am literally just going to throw this into sport mode. Yes, we are putting this in sport mode. And then if you hold the traction control button down for about 10 seconds, just like, you know, most modern vehicles, turns all of these systems off. And that's kind of just what I want to go for, just so that we can get the most amount of control of the truck so we don't have any active braking or anything like that. That'd be so fun to go through, but well, 8.6 inches of ground clearance is not enough, and the Santa Cruz doesn't have skid plates, so yeah, we aren't going to risk it for the biscuit today, okay folks? First off, let's kind of talk about how the ride quality is with the Santa Cruz on this little trail. Now it's got some little bumps and divots, and what I'll say is it's pretty good, but again, you can tell that this definitely has not been tuned for off-road use from a shock perspective and from a wheel travel perspective and all that kind of stuff. Like, I definitely have to slow down quite a bit before I go over any bumps or divots or anything like that. Like little stuff like that it can take, but the deeper stuff have to slow down a massive amount because it just doesn't have the wheel travel to be able to handle that. And so unless you want to break something, and I guess you don't want to do that. And you know what, let's climb up this little thing right here. I guess this will be our fun first obstacle to do. And you guys can see here the camera system is great, which I'm gonna keep that on. And I do not know anything about this little hill. All I know is that, well, we just crawled up it, easy enough. Pretty much like a little dirt bike hill though, but I mean, it's a little pickup truck thing, so I guess it does it well. Yeah, ground clearance is actually pretty good. Yeah, 8.6 inches is pretty decent. I feel like that's kind of the minimum amount that I feel comfortable with on these trails now. You guys haven't seen the video yet because I have not posted it because editing is a nightmare with these off-road videos. I took the Mazda CX-30 off-road on this course, and that thing was kind of terrifying to take off-roading here because it was just so low to the ground for all this stuff. And so yeah, it just wasn't a fun gig at all. Now this stuff is definitely testing it. Yeah, like this kind of stuff, funny enough, I go really slow. Yeah, and it's got the ground clearance for it. Again, you just got to take it at a slow pace, which is completely fine. I suspect if you're driving this up to a camping trip, you're not really trying to, you know, go crazy quick over any of this terrain here. Pop the front camera back on. Oh nope, we're going too fast, I guess. Doesn't want us to have it on at too high speeds. That's something that I think that auto manufacturers need to let us do, is they need to let us have the front camera on at a higher speed if we're off-road. There should be like a function on a vehicle, like especially vehicles that have off-road modes. Now this doesn't have a specific off-road mode. It's got a locker, which is great, but it doesn't have a specific off-road mode. But I think that for vehicles that have specific off-road modes, that it should just be like, hey, I can throw it in the off-road mode, and then I can have the camera on no matter how quick I am going, so that you can always have that just to help out with visibility a little bit. This trail feels huge in the Santa Cruz. This is kind of awesome. Last time I was down this trail, again, was with the TRX, and that thing takes up this entire trail, whereas I actually can maneuver around, and all these little bumps and everything in the TRX, they don't look like they exist. Whereas in this, it's like, okay, we're gonna go over that one, we're gonna avoid that one. It's a completely different experience. I mean, but still, we can get down the trail fine. So like, that's all that matters, right? It doesn't necessarily matter how you get down the trail, as long as you make it down in one piece, and pray that you don't get a flat tire, because that is always my thing that I'm worried about. Yeah, you guys can see that with suspension. It's just, it's fine. This is meant for on-road driving, but yeah, you can't go over stuff quick. That was a little bit too quick, if I'm being honest, going over that little thing. And these little whoops right here. Whoop. Just got to take it all nice and easy. We are continuing along this trail, trying not to get lost. And also, I'm trying to avoid super rocky terrain, just because, again, having 20-inch wheels with tires this small, that is just asking to get sidewall puncture, basically. You're like, please give me a flat tire, world. Okay, I'm gonna purposely go through here, because I know this is quite a bit of a dip. Not right here. So this we can kind of drive around. Okay. And then this right here. So we get to go down this, and this will kind of get to flex a little bit. Actually kind of went on 3 wheels, I think. Felt like it, at least. Crazy how tiny this truck feels. It's great though, because that means that you can maneuver into spots really easily. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with the ground clearance though. Very impressed with it. Like, I did not expect for this to be this comfortable at all. And then also the transmission. I was a little bit worried about the transmission offer, because it is a dual clutch, and you know, when you're going at lower speeds, it sometimes, I kind of mentioned this in my review, it sometimes kind of shakes a little bit with the truck. And it's actually doing a really good job at not being annoying. So good job, Hyundai. I can hear a little bit of vibration, but it doesn't get in the way of the driving experience, is what I'm trying to say, with the dual clutch. Yeah, this is where we want to go really slow. Do. This probably doesn't look crazy at all from the point of view. And given, for like, you know, a real off-road vehicle, this is like nothing. But for a little SUV thing with a truck bed, it's actually quite a bit. It's interesting how different vehicles handle all this stuff differently. Who would have thought? Right? Okay. Oh, there we go. Did you guys see that? Kind of jumped a little bit. That's what I'm talking about, the dual clutch. Sometimes it's gets confused, and it's like trying to grab, it seems like, and it doesn't quite know how to. But yeah, I mean, overall, I guess I don't want this video to be terribly long. And I know this isn't super exciting off-roading, but I'm just hoping that this helps out someone who's looking at purchasing the Santa Cruz, just to kind of know that it can do some things, right? But I definitely would recommend, if you like this is actually a pretty capable truck off-road. The all-wheel drive system's great. Transmission doesn't get in the way too much. And so if this had some real tires on it, I imagine if you threw, I don't know how big the rotors are, but I think you could probably fit 17 or 18 inch wheels on this. And then if you know, so 17, 18 inch wheels, and then you threw, I mean, it's not a huge truck, so you could probably put like 28s, 29s on it maybe. I doubt you could fit 31s on it. 31s would be massive on this truck. But you could probably put, yeah, like 28s or 29s on it. And I think that it would actually do really good. It's got the ground clearance. It's got the all-wheel drive grip. Ooh, bumpy. Just needs different tire and wheel setup. But even with the street setup, I mean, through all that stuff, it did a pretty good job. And I didn't even air down the tires or anything like that. So we're not even at, you know, ideal PSI. So I guess I gotta give this an off-road rating as it stands. Oof. Do I go through the mud? Do I? Let's do it just for the, let's do it for the video, and hopefully we don't get stuck. And now I gotta clean that up. So ground clearance is actually really good. 8.6 inches is solid. So I guess that gives it a pretty good score. No skid plates, that decreases the score a little bit. All-wheel drive system's super grippy, really good. So that's gonna increase the score a bit. Tire and wheel setup, obviously not meant for the off-road, so that's gonna kind of decrease things slightly. Transmission, it's pretty good most of the time, but it does get annoying every so often, so that is going to kind of change things a little bit. Oof. And so with everything being taken into consideration, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 for the off-road score. It's definitely better than like the average, like 5 would be right, an average vehicle. This is definitely better than the average vehicle off-road. But you're definitely gonna be limited with the stuff that you can do. But I mean, again, I imagine most people purchasing this truck are probably just gonna want to take this up little hills and stuff for camping, and it'll do that. Even with the stock tire and wheel setup, it'll do that. You just got to take things slow. You got to be careful like that, right? Go over that too fast and hit the bottom end too hard. And again, it doesn't have skid plates, and so say goodbye to something, right? But yeah, overall, like I said, it's a pretty good, capable truck. Just not exactly set up for the off-road from the factory. And so if you were going to be going out on regular adventures in the Santa Cruz, I'd recommend just smaller wheel, more tire. It's pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, you'd love it.